Hello fellow YouTubers, this is Tom Pilling, and have I got a surprise for you. It's been long in the offing, but finally it's here. I have a suitcase full of in-scale surprises right over there. Hello everybody, I have a suitcase here in front of me sitting on the bunk of my truck. I'm going to pull in a little closer and show you some of what I got inside of it. Well, looky there. It's a lot of train inventory. Yep, those are all mine. I'm going to show you a little bit about my inventory. This is not all of it. This is just something I happen to bring along in my truck. It's a suitcase full of it. And I don't think you get a idea of how many trains are in there just by looking at the suitcase. You can see some of them on top. I'm gonna pull some of them out and go through them with you, and you'll get to see what I mean. Here's what I had on my Christmas wish list for this last Christmas of 2017, and these are the items that I showed you in my last video, which was quite a ways ago. Back around Thanksgiving of 2017. This is what I had on my wish list for getting for Christmas, and as you can see I did get them. Let me open these up and show you what they look like. As you can see here, I have two Atlas GP35 diesel locomotives painted in the Santa Fe pinstripe, or sometimes called bookends, for the yellow colors on both ends, you know, like it's bookended together. This is the pre-1972 paint scheme. It's a paint scheme that was used throughout the 60s and until 1972, when they repainted them and started adding in a blue and yellow Warbonnet scheme. But this is a beautiful locomotive for the era I'm modeling. You can see there the Santa Fe logo on the front. Get it to focus a little better here. Can't get it to focus, hold on, we'll get it in here. There it goes. See the number boards at the top? This is a DCC version, so I've used this at Christmas time on my DCC setup at home. These times I'm going to have to show you how I do that when I run some trains. Here I don't have any power sources or power packs to be able to run them. I'm just going to show off some of my inventory here. Anyway, that's one of my locomotives. Here's the other one. You can see. There it is. Get it into focus there. It's 1302 is the number. What was the other one? It's 1315. Okay, 1302. Yeah, Atlas released these last year, and when I found out they were going to do these in this 1960s style paint scheme, bookends paint scheme, I had to get some because that's the area I'm modeling. You don't see many of them being released nowadays in this scheme. So those are my two locomotives, and I got this Atlas boxcar. I can get it out of here. I'm gonna try to get it in here. Alright, there it is. I thought this was really cool. So it's from the West Point, from the cotton, from the looms of West Point. So it's a pretty cool boxcar. I like the coloration of it, the blue and white. Atlas did a pretty good job detailing these things, as you can see. So that is that. And this was a USRA still rebuilt boxcar. I think the doors open on these. Let me just check. Pull it out of the container again. Some of the newer Atlas cars do have doors that open. So let me see. It's a little hard here. Alright gang, I'm back. As you can see, the doors do open on these. I thought they did. They're just a little tough, and having one hand here to shoot, it's a little hard to move the door open and close, so I just had to put it on pause so I could open it, but you can see it does open, you know, so I was able to open it. They're just a little stiff, takes a little bit of finagling, but yeah, they do open. Beautiful boxcar there. And my last gift that I got from Christmas, you know, on my wish list was this one by the N-Scale Enthusiast. Again, it's another Microtrains car, but it's not one you usually see on their regular lineup of available cars. This is a helium tank car. As you can see, labeled there for the U.S. Navy. And on the Venta, or close to the Venta spur, I should say, right where it came into the main line, there was another spur off to a military installation that had some old blimp hangars. In fact, the movie The Hindenburg was filmed there because it had blimp hangars, and then it was close enough to Hollywood that they used it as a backdrop. But, you know, since World War II, they weren't used for blimps anymore. Pretty much it was a big helicopter base serving for the Vietnam war effort. A lot of helicopter pilots are trained there and went from there right into Vietnam. It was a big helicopter base. But for some reason, they still received helium shipments there in the 60s. An N-Scale Yahoo group that I belonged to was talking about that, and I thought that was fascinating. So when I found that out, you know, I thought this would be good to have for my layout too, that I plan to build. So you can see they did a beautiful job on this helium tank car there. Well, that was the last item I wanted for Christmas. Box of some of the locomotives I have. So, and a couple of extra locomotives on the side there. You can see this is all inside my suitcase too. So I'm gonna go through these and open these up, and you get to see what some of these locomotives I have. It's a mixture of DCC and DC locomotives. My two Athearn F45s, they're DCC. And they're really some amazing models. They have good sound in them. They make you know, different sounds, the horns and all that when you run them on DCC. I'm really pleased with how Athearn came out with these. Here, I'll show you this here. A little bit better focus. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? This came out in the late 1960s. You can see that there. Look at that painting, nice and sharp. A lot of detail there. Okay, folks, I have some other Athearn F45s too, and also in the Santa Fe scheme. These are DC though. I bought these before I could get the DCC. I have two of the DCC, as you notice, and I have three of these here. There's a little part of it, but they're basically the same thing. They look the same as the DCC ones. Are just DC, so I have three of these. Alright gang, here's some of the locomotives I took out of the box. I've turned on my camera light so I could shine a little bit better on these, and you can see it. There's the Alco RS2 there. Let me focus in on it. By Walthers. It's a LifeLike mechanism, but it was released under the Walthers label a few years ago. So that's pretty nice. Here's the Walthers GP20 that they came out with. It's got a long snoot nose there, as you can see on that. I really like that. Paint scheme's pretty good on it. And all of these locomotives run, like I said, they're a little loud, the mechanisms, but they run fairly well. So you can see that one there. It's another GP20 made by Walthers. And over here, again made by LifeLike through Walthers. So I try not to buy any LifeLike locomotives, but every now and then they're released through some other manufacturers and they don't do too bad of a job. Same here with these Microtrains, SW1500s. Again, they were released through LifeLike, so you can see that there. You know, they don't do too bad of a job on that, and they run fairly well. you know. All of these are DC, by the way. I'm showing you now, and I'll have to get decoders for them. So there's that other SW 1500, when the first batch that they released them. The FlexiCoil trucks that they came out with when they introduced those, micro trains. And here's my SD45s painted in the blue and yellow Warbonnet paint scheme that Ryan in Phoenix, if you're listening, Ryan, these are the ones I was telling you about that eventually I'm going to have you repaint for me. Here's the other one, to paint them in the pre-1972 paint scheme, the bookends paint scheme. I'll have to get decoders for these too, since these are also DC. So, and these are really reliable locomotives. I really like those. Okay, gang, these are the rest of the locomotives that were in that little white box of mine there. These are all made by Atlas here. And all of them are DC except for one. The one at the bottom, you can actually see I wrote on there DCC, so I could easily identify them. The one in the bottom left hand corner there. So starting from the bottom left hand corner, let me get in a little closer here. There it is. It's in the Santa Fe pre-1972 paint scheme. So you can see there. Now this one, if you look real carefully, has the square shaped or rectangular shaped windows. The one above it is also an H 1644, the DC version, non-digital, and that has the rounded shape windows. If you look real carefully, right there, that's sort of nice. I sort of like that classic look to it, but I couldn't, when I was getting the DCC, I couldn't seem to find that one. So it's painted really pretty well there. This up here is another DC, as I mentioned. It's a GP30, I believe. Let me just verify that. Yep, GP30 Phase 1 Santa Fe locomotive. And now here's my Southern Pacific locomotives that I have. This is an SD9 in the Southern Pacific Bloody Nose paint scheme. This is, I started to say it was an Alco, but it's not actually an Alco, it's a GE. It's a U28B Phase 2A Southern Pacific. You can see it's a pretty nice looking locomotive there. Again, DC. Here it is. And this last one here is another Southern Pacific Atlas, made by Atlas. It's a GP35, again DC powered. So got a lot of decoders I'm going to have to eventually put into these. Hello, I'm back again. Alright, I got a pair of E8s here in the Santa Fe Warbonnet red and silver paint scheme for passenger service. This is from Broadway Limited, as you can see. This is the A unit, and I'll pull it out of its container in a second so you can see it. It's really beautiful. It's DC and DCC compatible. It's got a sound system inside of it. It's really a cool locomotive there. And here is the B unit. Alright. So I will take them out of their packages so you can see them a little closer. Alright, here we go, gang. This is the Santa Fe E8 A unit. The front unit there. It's beautiful, isn't it? They really did a nice job on the paint scheme. A lot of details. You can even see the handrails there if you look real carefully. Here on the side, see that? They actually stick out. You got to be very careful. They're very fragile. I think I might have broken one of them off on one of these. I can't remember if it was the A unit or B unit. It's got a diaphragm there in the back. You can see this there. There's the other side. There's the front of it. Isn't it beautiful? It has an operating Mars light when it's running. They did a nice job of painting this. Really nice on the details. Look at the See the fans there. Probably could use a little bit of weathering to make those fans stand out a little bit better. Ones on the sides are pretty good. You can see those. Pretty well detailed. The vents there. Running down the length of the locomotive. So that is that unit. And here is the B unit. Both of them are powered. I didn't let the A unit and the dummy B unit when they were selling them like that, so I bought them individually so I can get them powered. You can see that there. It's the Santa Fe logo there. I'm just going to zoom in on it. You can see a lot of shine here on the. There it is. Now to my Kato Santa Fe Super Chief 8-car set. I'll open that up for you. I'm going to need 2 hands to do this, so I'm going to put it on pause here just for a second. Alright, here it is, gang. Ain't she a beaut? Look at that. It even comes with some track there. You can see all those cars there. Let me get in, zoom in close here. Look at that. There's the baggage car. Here's the railway post office. You can see there. And that looks like, what is that? One of the sleeper cars, I believe. There's the dome car. And that is another sleeper car, it looks like. That's the observation car. Here is another sleeper car, and there is the diner right there. Just a little look over here. Right up in there, can you see that? Some little smokestacks coming out, and little vents for cooking when they're cooking on the road. Kitchen there for the diner car. It's pretty neat. Beautiful, beautiful car. Beautiful set of cars, I should say. Well, I hope you liked this video today, and if you did, click on the like button and please subscribe. I look forward to bringing you more in-scale offerings in the future, sometimes from here in my truck and sometimes from home. Well, you guys take care. Have a good day now. Bye.